Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Brother Sister Show, a family-owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're talking about Sinister. But before we get to that, how are you, Anthony?
I'm doing pretty good. Chilling. I was gonna say I was looking at my letterbox right before we recorded, and I was thinking like I didn't watch that too many movies, but like compared to last week, like last week I had 15. This week I only have 8. So I was like, it's school's like picking up midterm season, so we're chilling. Not much else. This weekend was nice. We just kind of chilled, did some homework. Kayla made some little cheesecakes, like some regular cheesecakes and Oreo cheesecake. Very good. Very, very good.
Looked
so
good.
That's been nice. I have today. I'll start mentioning the like record that I have in the background, because I change it for every episode, just because I want to have something cool like how you have. But
the board.
So this one you can't really tell. I mean, you can kind of see it's the Operation Doomsday MF Doom Silver Sleeve edition. So
I thought it was that John Mayer album.
No.
Gravity.
It is not. But cool. That's all I have. I could talk about the movies, or do you want to talk about what's been up with you?
I talk about what I've been doing, and then we can get into movies. But so I went to Austin for the weekend to celebrate me and a friend's birthdays. And that was fun to like see my friends again, to go to some really good places. We ate some good food. Because my experience in Austin hasn't always been, especially with food, hasn't always been great, which people are always surprised by. But I tried a place called Jacoby's, and that was really good. They had pimento cheese dip, which I had 2 things that I'm very particular about, and I like had to try it to see if it was good. So they had the pimento cheese. Wasn't a fan of it, the way that they did it. But you know what? Fine. It was okay. And then I got meatloaf. And yeah, it was really good. Very fucking good. Overall, great meal. We also went to I think it's called the Museum of Ice Cream is what it's called. And it's that thing, I think people have seen it on Instagram, where people just go, it's basically just like a bunch of photo opportunities. But I didn't realize, I thought it was just that, like they just had places that you can take pictures, which we obviously did. But they also had a lot of like interactive stuff, and they had obviously lots of ice cream and just sweets in general. And so like we had treats throughout the whole thing. Like the first place we had a soft serve, which was pretty good. And then the next one was like just candy that they gave us. And then cotton candy. And then another thing of ice cream. I think that was the last one. And that one was like those parade like animal crackers that are frosted and have like the sprinkles on it.
Those are amazing.
I know. And they had like a room with just like that as like the wallpaper. And then they had giant ones that you could ride as like, the rocking things. I didn't feel like getting on top of that, so I didn't do it. But it was the ice cream that I got at the next room from that one. It basically was like, I think it was vanilla, and it had those cookies in it, and it was so fucking good.
That sounds so amazing.
It was really good. And it was cute. Like they had even like a little playground thing, which was mostly meant for kids, but it was still fun for us. And they had a pool with big sprinkles that you could like jump in. And it was like, it looked like an actual pool. Like they had a slide, a little diving board. Like it was, it was interesting.
Did you go in?
Yeah. I have pictures. I don't know. Sebastian, he's the photographer, so he has the pictures, but yeah, it was very cute. I was kind of disappointed by their gift shop. Like they didn't have a lot of stuff, which was weird. Like you think that they would have a ton of things.
Right.
But maybe they had like maybe 10 things, like 10 different stuff that you could buy.
That's lame.
But I did get, I got myself and my parents, since they watched Randall this weekend. They had an ice cream, like a golden ice cream scooper. I should have brought it, but it's cool. Yeah, and I just thought it was cool just because of that. But Sebastian said that it has like a liquid in it, and it's one of those where when you're holding it, the heat of your hand like warms up the scoop. Because you know how people like they'll dip it in hot water or like have it running over. Like you don't need to do that. You just need to hold it.
That's awesome.
Because mom and dad were, or mom was telling me that she was like complaining about their ice cream scoop. And honestly, mine isn't good either. Like it's really hard to find a good one. So yeah. And our family's a very big, I don't know if you are now that you've moved out, but at least me and then our parents are very big ice cream people. We love ice cream.
Yeah. Every time I finish a meal or like dinner, I'm like, why do I want ice cream? Like I tell Kayla all the time. Yeah, like I need something sweet. And it's just been a bowl of cereal because I haven't had ice cream in a while. Like we haven't bought it. But yeah, I didn't even realize how big like ice cream eaters we were.
Yep. And so I think, I don't know, I would recommend, it's one of those, one of our friends said, he put it perfectly. He was like, it was cute. Like it was fun. Will I ever need to do that again? No. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they changed some of the installations, like if they, released like in a couple months saying that they've changed up most of it, then I think I would go back. But for the most part, I think
just like a tourist situation thing, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was fun to do. And it was kind of funny that like, they were all like little kids there. Not all little kids, but there was a ton of little kids and we were like, just like grown adults. Yeah. So that was fun. And we went out as you do. And yeah, and now I'm back. It's a good weekend. I haven't had one of those in a while to just like not have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to after graduation. It's just like weekends that are pretty much exactly like this one that I had, where I did some homework, but I wasn't like weighed down by it. I was just like no obligations, just do whatever you want, and to have like that freedom. That's the life.
It was pretty nice, and like just have an entire weekend to just like, and it's nice too. Like I don't know, I guess because like in high school or when you did have weekends, you like. It's so different when you're an adult because you get to like we went to Austin and we stayed like with our friends and it was just like, I don't know, like stuff like that makes me feel like a legitimate adult to be like, I'm going out of town and doing my own thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep. That's what I did. Didn't get to go to the movies, sadly. I wanted to see something, but maybe I'll go sometime this week.
What'd you watch? Anything?
I think I talked about this, but I think I talked about The Holiday. Yeah, I did, and how much I love that movie. I just rewatched that. I also talked about There's Someone Inside Your House on Netflix. Didn't really care about it. I think I talked about it more last time. But I gave it a 1 star, and I said, the thing I said was a spoiler, I think. But I just basically said it was like it was very boring. Predictable, and yeah, I don't know. It felt like the one thing I said is that it felt like it came out in like 2017 or like even 2010. It just felt like it weirdly felt like a dated movie. Didn't really care about it. And then I watched a movie called The Cave. I think it was on Hulu, and it just like was added on, and it seemed like a movie called The Descent that I love. I think I've talked about it before, how I fucking love that movie. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch this because that one's in a cave and this one's called The Cave. So I was like, it should be similar, right? No, it was weird. Didn't like it. And it was just really boring. I gave it 0.5 star.
Dang.
Just because I know it's kind of harsh. It just really was like so boring. Also predictable. The cast was weirdly good, but like, Nothing else about it was. Yeah, that's basically it.
You use Letterboxd. I was surprised to see to like scroll and see a review from you.
I know. I've been bad about it, but I haven't really been watching any movies. Like, I think The Cave is the newest one I've seen, or like the other ones are kind of, I just forgot to log them, so I did them like days after.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more on it. I'm trying to watch more movies. Oh, I should talk about this. I finished Dave.
Yes.
Finally.
Okay. Yeah.
And
the text I got from you was hilarious. I don't know if it's okay if I read it.
Yeah, it's fine. I do want to talk about first so I finished the entire thing, but I think, well, you can read the text.
You said it like we were texting before. Oh, we kind of were. You said, by the way, the finale of Dave made me cry. You win.
Because I think I talk shit a little bit about like how I feel like you hyped it up a little too much. But yeah, it made me like tear up. No, I didn't like sob, but I was like crying. For Gata.
Yeah, I think the thing I love about it is like the if you look at just both the season finales, like the first one, he's like, he really came into himself. He's like, yeah, I'm Dave. This is me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he laid it all out. And then the second season was really, I feel like each episode was him learning how much he's underappreciating the people in his life and how much those, like without them, he's like, he wouldn't have been where he's at. Mm-hmm. And then just like the end where he truly appreciates Gata, like his ride or die, who's also, his name is Davionte, but his family calls him Dave.
I know, when he called him Dave, that's when I did get chills. I was like, oh, that was a pretty good reveal. Or I guess, I don't know if it was a reveal, because Sebastian said that we did like know that that's what his name was, but they never called him Dave before.
Yeah, exactly. And then,
like, oh, shit.
And then the We Are Dave at the end of the second season is like perfect.
It's really good. I will say, I think my favorite episode is the episode before that. Whenever he, my favorite scene, and I might watch it after this again because it just like made me laugh so much, and it was really well done. Is when he went to that like sensory deprivation tank.
Oh yeah.
And when that whole thing was good, but the specific scene is at the end whenever he meets like himself and he's bald, and just the way he moves around just made me laugh so much. And it seemed like, remember Annihilation with Natalie Portman? It was basically, I think they were like kind of, like, I'm sure they're not copying it, but it seemed very like reminiscent of that in a funny way. But just the way he would move his arms just made me laugh so much.
Yeah.
And it made me, because I think at first in the beginning of the second season, I was kind of like, I don't know, he feels like, he kind of doesn't feel like that great of an actor. Like it feels, he was good in the first season, and then I was trying to be like, he feels now more like a rapper that became an actor rather than like a artist that's good at a lot of things. But then that scene made me think like, okay, I think he actually is a good actor, because it was really funny. Yeah,
the music in that scene, the one he like kind of shows, is really good. I think
one thing that Sebastian said too is he doesn't put it on Spotify, or you can't like buy it or anything.
None of that weird. Music. I think, people really want him to make an album, and I think that's his goal. Hopefully, I think it would. I don't know. There's a lot of hype around it, around the music in it.
Yeah. It's but it's really good. The whole Gata thing, like and that's the thing too, is I don't get surprised easily. I feel like by shows or because sometimes it can be predictable. Even this show could be predictable sometimes. But that like the specific scene where Gata's like watching him start to perform and he's crying and you don't really know where he is. And they fake you out to like, they're going to do this like weird, whatever the fuck that surgery thing they were going to do. And then he actually pops up. I really liked it. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, the music in that's like
really good. And I was telling Sebastian, whenever he played his song for him, I was like, Gata's really good. Like I liked his music a lot. And they kind of made it seem like he was like, he would talk a big game, but he wasn't that great. And that's like, I guess the opinion that I just formed or they wanted me to have. And then so when they showed his actual music, I was like, holy shit, I think he's better than Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Truly.
It's really good. If they have another season, I'll definitely watch it. Yeah. Oh, another fun fact that I learned, because there was a name when I was watching, I saw the credits for one of the episodes. It was a name I recognized. And so I looked it up, and it's April Shee. I think that's how you say her name. She's a writer on the show. And she was actually in an episode of a series I like sort of produced, or kind of just like of the Avital series Thirsty. She's in one of the episodes.
Oh, no way. SHIH?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was thinking, like, the writing in the show is really good, because I think he writes in it too, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So that's really cool to like. I love that. I did feel like an asshole, because I did put a lot of like different like. I judged it without watching it, where I was like, it's no way it can be good because of how ridiculous Lil Dicky is. But FX obviously knows what they're doing, and they hired amazing writers and like, to tell a story that is actually really relatable and very cohesive and artistic. And yeah,
I'm sure I didn't help by hyping it up a lot, but
no,
maybe too much.
I think no. Like, at first I thought you hyped it up a little too much, but after like reflecting on that last episode, or the last few episodes, I do think the hype for it is warranted.
Okay.
Because it's pretty good. I think it's an episode, it's a series, and that episode specifically is one that I'll probably like rewatch again.
I've rewatched it tens of times at this point.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it tomorrow. Or, it's like, it's one of those that it just made me like feel something.
It's a feel good moment for sure.
And I really love too, like I was telling Sebastian, the thing in the show that surprised me the most was how affectionate the men are in it. I really liked that. Yeah. Because like just how often they would tell each other that they love each other, but like earnestly, and like, not as a joke, like they genuinely share their affection for each other. I really liked that. I don't know how much I like Benny Blanco in it, but like that whole episode was really Chuck. Funny. There was this one scene, the way he said something that made me laugh a lot, and I can't remember what it was, but just the way he talks is really funny. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, that was like that was a little too much, but I think that was the point of being like, this is weird. Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you actually ended up watching it.
Same. And now we'll see what I'll watch now. Sebastian and I have been trying, like, people are trying to convince us to watch different things. Like, we've heard Sopranos a lot. Dad has really been pushing for us to watch Better Call Saul, which I want to, but I don't know what it is. I just like, I think because I know it's going to be good, but I know I have to like immerse myself in it, and I just need to like be in a specific mental space.
Yeah, well, I think the time that we're recording this, it's either airing now or it's about to.
Succession?
Succession. Succession.
Are you caught up?
I think so. No, I haven't. I have the time. I just haven't actually watched it.
What episode are you on?
I think I'm in the second episode of the first season. But
okay.
Mom reminded me that Dune's coming out this week, so I need to read the book.
Is it really?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was going to catch up to me so bad.
I think we should do it for.
I think we should as well.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Classic sci-fi.
I'm like sad. Okay, let's do it.
I guess. I mean, we don't have to if you don't want to.
No, we can because I probably will have a lot of things to say about it.
Yeah.
Like how I don't know if this is mean. Well, I don't want to say this and like sound stupid because I don't know how that world works. If it's like, because Timothy Chalamet is like Oscar Isaac's kid. Mm-hmm. Is he like literally like he's supposed to be his like kid like his biological kid, or it's like
yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't imagine like I they want me to suspend my disbelief. Like I can suspend my disbelief for a lot of things, like a dystopian world, but for Timothy Chalamet to be Oscar Isaac's child, I don't know.
You have to watch it, I guess. I mean,
I guess I was just mostly kidding, but yeah. I'm very excited to hear about the movies, or specifically one that you watched.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did I talk about Krampus?
I think you did.
Okay.
You said it has a good cast.
Yeah, good cast. It was all right.
Unless that's what your letterbox said. I don't know.
That is what my letterbox said. I wasn't expecting much from it. 2 stars if I didn't mention it. Next was The Strangers. Solid
movie.
Yeah, solid. I gave it 2.5 just because I don't know. It didn't do much besides like just adding some like decent suspense for me. I didn't know that one guy. The guy he killed? Glenn Howerton?
His friend. Mm-hmm.
That was a funny cameo.
I forgot he was in that movie.
2.5 stars. It was okay. Then I started, or I watched Apostle, which was good. I really liked it. 3 stars. I gave it 3 stars. It's the overall premise is interesting because it's like a cult that's secluded or isolated on an island, and the protagonist's sister was captured by them, and they like want a ransom, and he's there to save her.
Just letting you know now, I wouldn't do all that.
Oh yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Especially back then. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, because I think she joined them.
No,
she didn't. Oh, she didn't? I thought she did.
No, she was captured because their dad was rich and they just needed money.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I would then.
Yeah. I definitely would die.
Oh yeah.
Straight up. Like he was very smart. Mm-hmm. I gotta say. So the whole like religion aspect is kind of interesting, but it did make me really sad just like with one of the like side characters.
Yeah.
Arc. Extremely sad. But I liked it. Then
good
I think the one
too.
you're excited to talk about is Relic.
Oh, sure.
Oh, was it not? Are you talking about Geostorm?
Nope. Warmer.
I don't know. Relic was on the same level of Apostle for me. Mm-hmm. Like I gave it a 3 star as well. And it just, I don't know. Dementia's scary. Losing brain functionality is scary as you get older. It's always been a fear of mine, and I think this movie did a great job. I think one review I saw on Letterboxd was funny. It said like this movie wanted to be called or was like so pissed that the name Hereditary was already taken, and like a well-known movie.
I did see one of the I think this is for this movie. One of the fun facts, because you know how she made like calendars or something, right?
Yeah.
So the original script, it was written before Hereditary came out, was that the mother's her like not a hobby, or I guess a hobby. Her hobby was miniature, like making miniatures.
That's funny.
Like in
Hereditary.
And they decided to change it. He was like, I can't.
There's already too many
similarities. I think it was this movie.
That makes sense. Yeah. Especially with that last scene. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah. Hereditary would have been a solid or an apt name, but
yeah.
Whatever. Solid movie.
I loved the ending is so like I love when they have good endings, kind of like I guess in a Sinister kind of, that kind of way. Mm-hmm. Like not like I'm talking about the fucking movie. Sorry, that was like a weird way to say it.
In a sinister kind of way.
Like I like when horror films like go for it, but then I also like how this one it went for it, but in a totally different direction. Where it was like a roller coaster of emotions, where it was terrifying, and then it was really sweet in a way because it's like the whole imagery of her helping her shed the skin. Like it's basically her helping her like go through what's happening to her body instead of fighting it. You just have to like help her go through something that's eventually going to happen. And, you know, it's a very tender moment, and it's very like beautiful, weirdly beautiful in a way. And then it just, well, I guess spoilers, and then it ends with her having the same thing on her, and just, it's going to happen again.
Yeah. I do enjoy that where you know the rest of the story. Like,
yeah. And it still is scary. Like it is a scary ending, but it's very slow burn. Like, you know, just you picturing it and being like, fuck, it's going to happen to her. And maybe she'll welcome it better than her mom did. But like, what if she doesn't? Because it's different when it's happening to you.
Yeah. And that's the scary part is like, it's happening and she didn't see it. She doesn't know. Mm-hmm. Like only the people around you. I think that's the scary part for me is like for you, it might be, you know, you're just living your life. And I'm sure that's what it is. And the people around you, obviously, they're the ones who like notice it. And that's scary to me.
And they have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid movie. Then Thursday night went to go see Halloween Kills.
Okay. How was it? I've heard not good things.
Yeah. Okay. So some context as to my experience with the Halloween franchise. I've only ever seen the first one, like the very first one.
Okay.
I saw it, and then this is the only one. So I've only seen those two. And
no spoilers.
No spoilers?
I want to see it.
Okay, then I really don't have much to say. I give it a 1 star.
Okay, I'll try to watch it soon-ish, and then we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, we'll talk. I think we'll have a better discussion because I'm sure you have a lot to say about it. Because I think the main criticism that I've seen a lot is like, oh, it's a movie for the fans. It's a movie for the fans.
God.
So we'll leave it at that for now. We'll put a pin in it. And then the day after, or the morning after, I watched Blades of Glory.
Mm-hmm. Palate cleanser.
Yeah, I really had to set the board even. It's really.
I fucking love that movie. It's so fun.
Yeah, I give it a 3.5 stars. It's like in that same vein of just like mid 2000s movies that some of the jokes, I wouldn't say most, but some of the jokes just didn't age well, but a majority of them, you know, passed that test of time and just make you feel good. It's definitely a comfort movie for me. I said it's the right kind of ridiculous for the most part. And I'd like to think that in an alternate universe, Bruce Wayne was a figure skater and like pretty much had the same story as James McElroy. Just because like at the beginning, that's kind of the same, like he's an orphan and like the only difference is that he was a figure skater and wasn't rich. But
there you go.
Then I watched Sinister last night. We'll talk about it. But today, I watched After We Fell.
That's the one I'm excited about.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you saw my review, but
Oh, yeah, I did. Yes, please read it.
Okay. I said, God cannot be omnibenevolent or omnipotent if evil prevails. I said, God is dead. I like truly like another review that I was going to put is humanity is deeply flawed. And I'm convinced that this movie pushed us to the point of no return. Just because, like, have you seen it?
No, I'm going to probably, but you can spoil it. Are there spoilers?
Huh?
Like, is there like big spoilers?
Kind of, but they wanted it to be such a big thing, and it just ended up not being.
I didn't even know that it was coming out. Like I did.
Me neither.
No idea.
I wanted to go see The Last Duel.
Me too.
I didn't have any time to go see it. Just because it's like 2.5 hours. It's kind of ridiculous.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's long.
Okay.
But Kayla was like, hey, I'm going to the movies on Sunday with our roommate. I was like, oh, for what? And she said, after we fell. And I was like, at first I was like, I'll just go and see The Last Duel. But then I was like, this would be a good story for the podcast. But I didn't realize that you hadn't seen it. So we'll talk about it more, because there's one, I'll say it's the bar scene, that the aftermath of the bar scene, what Hardin says legitimately made me upset. Did
you almost walk out?
If I wasn't there with my roommates and Kayla, I don't think I would have. I did feel upset, and I was like no movie has ever made me feel this way, so I'll give it that. In a Requiem of a Dream kind of way, you know. But yeah, God turned a blind eye on this one, I think.
Clocked out.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of funny reviews on Letterboxd about it. Don't recommend.
I'm excited to see it.
And then I gotta say, I didn't completely finish Geostorm. I was going to completely finish it, but I was absolutely tired and I took a nap, and I was watching it and didn't have enough time before we were recording. I will finish it. I'm about 30 minutes in. So we can still do the family tree game. Gotta say, yeah. I mean, there's not much to talk about because you haven't seen it, but I know where the movie's headed. Not super excited for it.
What's a geostorm? Have you answered that question yet?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I thought because the whole thing is there's like a satellite system that they created, that Gerard Butler created to essentially nuke storms that are gonna happen, and they named it something stupid. And I feel like it would have been. Is
Andy Garcia in this one?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of something else?
The guy who I was surprised is Jim Sturgis, the guy in 21.
He's in that?
Yeah, he plays Gerard Butler's brother.
Okay.
No, Andy Garcia, I don't think is in it. Oh, yes, he is in it. My bad. Yeah, he plays the president.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
Amazing. Maybe I need to watch it. I won't. Well, maybe.
I guess.
Is it even a fun, dumb watch? You know what I mean? Is it fun or no?
So far, not really, because it's like this shit's gonna happen. I feel like.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah. It's okay, though.
So.
We can still podcast.
Yeah.
In the apocalypse. We'll figure it out.
But that is all I've watched.
Okay.
So.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do some family tree. Oh, let me write down. Okay, what do you have?
I already have something written down. All right, mine, Ethan Hawke.
Oh, solid. I have Gerard Butler.
Okay.
All right, I'll put 5 minutes on the clock. Hopefully I can do it. I don't have faith in myself anymore. I think that's what my flaw is. Okay, 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Okay. Since you're an absolute loser, I'll go first.
I didn't do anything.
So I think we did this movie 2 episodes ago, but Ethan Hawke is in The Guilty.
Oh, fuck. Yes,
with Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's what I was thinking of. Fuck. Okay.
Who's in Spider-Man Far From Home with Tom Holland. Who's in Venom Let There Be Carnage with Tom Hardy. Who's in The Dark Knight Rises with Morgan Freeman. Who's in London Has Fallen with Gerard Butler. Or Angel Has Fallen, take your pick. Wow, I get to pick something.
I do this thing. I said it, I don't know. I think you cut the middle part out, so I'll say it now. But unless you don't.
No, I do.
Okay. But I do this thing where I'm like, I'm going to pick a big name that I probably know a lot of their stuff, or at least they're connected to something that has a lot of people in it. So that's why I chose Ethan Hawke. But then that's what I got stuck on. I was like, what is he in? Because I kept thinking of Sinister. I don't know, whatever. But what I got to is Gerard Butler is in Law Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx. And I was, I don't know. Because I was going to say Boyhood. He's been in a lot of shit. I don't know why I can't think of anything right now.
Do you want me to look something up?
Yeah.
So Ethan Hawke. We can. Okay, so I kind of wanted to talk about movie news. He's in that. It's a new movie, but it's The Black Phone. It's kind of like apt that we talk about it this episode because it's the same writer,
the same director,
writer and director. C. Robert Cargill, who's from San Antonio. Shout out.
Is he?
Yeah, I was listening. He lives in Austin. I was listening to a podcast, the Rooster Teeth podcast, where he was on it a while ago, a couple years back. And he mentioned, I think he went to a high school that we didn't go to, but is in like right or to Judson. He's in The Purge. Ethan Hawke, I see The Purge.
Fuck, that's what it was.
Magnificent Seven.
That one has a lot of people.
Oh, he's in Sinister too? I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I see that's like a...
Okay.
That could have been helpful. Dead Poet Society, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Training Day with
I almost
Denzel.
said that and I was like, that's a different white guy. But no, it's him. Okay.
Okay, I'll make you watch a Japanese horror movie that is on my list. I don't think you maybe you've seen it. Onibaba, I think that's how you say it. Onibaba. It's on HBO Max, I think. That's what according to Letterboxd. Because I'm gonna watch it this week, so it'd be cool to talk. I don't know if we've talked about any Japanese. I know for sure we probably haven't talked about any Japanese horror films, but. Yeah,
from the 60s?
Yeah.
That'll be rough. I don't like old movies. I'll probably like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Have you seen what?
The trailer. I want to talk about movie news. The trailer to The Black Phone, the new Ethan Hawke.
Okay. I started watching it and I got really bored. Like insanely bored by it. And that's why I was like, am I not understanding? Like it doesn't feel like interesting. But I'm like, maybe I need to finish the whole thing. Maybe I'm going to definitely watch it because I love Sinister a lot. So
Scott Derrickson.
Yeah, I like his work, but like, I don't know. The trailer doesn't seem interesting.
So I follow...
it just tells the whole story, it feels like.
Yeah, I will say it does feel like that. But maybe it was a hard sell, like not doing it. I could see that. But
I was sold on that one image of him in the mask.
Like with his like the Arthur hand. I follow C. Robert Cargill on Twitter. Same. And I saw him like tweet about just like the basic premise, and it like sold me immediately. Just about
what is it?
The Black Phone. Like a kid gets kidnapped by a serial child killer. Or child killer. I don't know if he probably is serial. And there's like a unconnected black phone, and the kid uses the phone, or is like called from all of his previous victims, and they help him escape. Like try to escape. Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting. I think. I was excited.
That's interesting by itself, but then when they added the whole like that girl that has dreams of him, that's when I was like, this seems
a little too much.
I like that.
I can see that.
I'm definitely, like I said, I'm gonna watch it. The trailer doesn't interest me at all. Rarely do I click off of watching a trailer, but that one I instantly did.
Yeah, that's interesting. But speaking of trailers, other movie news. DC Fandom happened this past weekend. And they released the first full trailer of the Batman, set to release March of next year. So, have you seen it?
No. I was out of town and I just was busy.
Okay.
Is it good?
I'm extremely excited. I think this is going to be extremely dark. Like, just aesthetically, it's going to be dark. And I'm very excited. I have over there the Long Halloween, the Batman, or the graphic novel, and I'm very excited to read it because I think they took a lot of influence from it. And it looks exciting. Paul Dano is probably going to be the best part of that movie. I'm very excited to see Robert Pattinson, gotta say. But there was this one part where they're in the trailer, they're in a scene together, and you can only see Robert Pattinson. And I don't know, it looked a little weird.
I heard that I've seen the memes and jokes of how he sounds weird. But I'll watch it after we're done recording. I'll watch it. But yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't really necessarily his voice. I think it sounds weird, but his teeth are small. His teeth are very small.
Okay. I saw this one tweet and it was weirdly worded, but it talked about how Paul Dano's in the trailer and he's the only character that they don't show his full face.
Mm-hmm.
So people are is there some sort of reveal? And I was like, well, what kind of reveal do you want? I think it's just the Riddler doesn't have any sort of face thing. I don't know. I was like, okay.
I think that's he's mysterious. I mean, I think that's what they're going for. The enigma.
I guess. I don't know. I think I'm excited because I feel like the thing with superhero movies that they kind of get wrong sometimes is casting the villain. I feel like for a believable villain, you have to have an unbelievably good actor, especially if you're going to do it seriously, not a gimmicky or kind of funny, tongue in cheek kind of thing, but to have it to be an actual serious movie, then I think the actor has to fit that caliber. And that's why the Dark Knight trilogy is pretty iconic. And I think it's because the villains are as good, but honestly, probably better than Batman himself. They're more interesting.
Yeah.
And the actors are a little bit better. So I think if they're following that, I think this is going to be a good movie. I still will not ever understand the casting of Colin Farrell. I don't get that.
You were saying you got to cast good actors to get not, tongue in cheek. And I think there's still that aspect with Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand that the Penguin has a specific look about him, but because that's who he plays, right?
Yeah.
Penguin. But okay, find an actor that looks like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
It feels so stupid to me. I've just been seeing so many, that new series where, what's her name? Sarah Paulson has a fat suit, and then in, I think that new Gucci movie with Lady Gaga, Jared Leto I think he's in a fat suit too. And I'm just hire or I don't know, just prosthetics take you out of it. Also, if you're putting a fat suit on somebody, that takes you out of it too. And it's just Hollywood would do anything but hire a fat person or somebody that, fits into what the character wants. They would rather just have a good actor that's unrecognizable. What's the point? I just don't understand the point, but whatever. Okay, sure.
It's funny because I was looking at the posters. I haven't seen the trailer for House of Gucci, but I was looking at the poster and I saw Jared Leto and I had that thought. I was like, what? It doesn't even look like him. Just get someone else. Yeah.
And it's not like he's an unbelievable actor. You can't not have Jared Leto. Do you need him?
Yeah, not really. But back to the Batman trailer, saw more of Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle or Catwoman, which is exciting. I like that casting. And then we saw, I think there's some behind the scenes of Black Adam. I didn't really watch it, but there is a teaser for the Flash movie with Michael Keaton reprising his role. You don't see his face. You kind of just see the cowl from the back like that shot. And
as well as what?
Batman.
Michael Keaton?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, he like goes back in time and shit, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Flashpoint.
I was like, what? Okay, I was like, what's happening? Oh, okay. So they're just going directly more into the whole Marvel shit.
Kinda.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Get George Clooney or I don't care. How about that? He was Batman, wasn't he? Am I making that up?
No, he was. I'm excited for that one though. But I think that's all the news that I really cared about. Dune's coming out, so we'll watch that.
Good.
But,
all right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's cut to the break.
A washed-up true crime writer finds a box of gruesome home movies in his family's new house in Sinister. Sorry. Scrolling. Okay. Directed by Scott Derrickson, written by Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, starring Ethan Hawke, Juliet Rylance, and James Ranson.
Critics gave it a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. 63% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is it just me or is that like low?
That's super low.
And
way too low, I think.
3.2 average on Sinister.
Sinister. On Letterboxd?
Oh, yeah. On Letterboxd. I gave it a 3.5, which I guess, what is that? Oh, it's like a 70.
I give it a 3.5 too. I do think there's a lot of issues with it, but
yeah, for sure.
Overall, I think it's very solid.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems super low. And Metacritic gave it a 53.
Yeah, it is really low. Why do people not like it?
I don't know. Oh.
Well, I mean, number one that gives honestly a full star for me is that cardigan. I can't help but make jokes about that fucking cardigan every single time I watch this movie because there's only a handful of times where he's not wearing it. It's like they just Googled what a writer looks like. Cardigan. And they're like,
cardigan and
get
whiskey.
Me a cardigan stat. Whiskey on the rocks.
So I obviously
you've never seen it before, right?
This is my first time.
That's wild to me.
I took your advice and I watched it during spooky time late at night. I finished it around 2:00 in the morning. And it was scary. It was very creepy. It wasn't like super hard to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the ending was like a little too on the nose for me. Like with the kids going.
Yeah, that at the end. And honestly, a lot of the shit with the kids, I think I would have changed, or I would have. I think the ending could have been way creepier and way more fucked up. So I wish that would have been different.
Yeah, but it did have some like good goofs, some good scares. I gotta say,
and goofs. Yeah, I think I don't know if it's a movie that stays with you.
Yeah.
Like that kind of scare factor, but during the moment it scares me a lot, even now.
Yeah, like the snake being under the box, I can think of. There was a I don't know, maybe it's just like me being fucked up, but when he was watching the tapes, and specifically the one where I don't know, remember the name of it, but where the girl kills her family by running them over with a lawnmower. There was a big jump scare, just like an auditory one, and like he kind of just like jumps back from his seat, and I was like, "Is he overreacting?" But then I was like, "Wait, no, this is a pretty like gory."
No,
pretty well, and that brings insane.
That brings me to. I guess when I was watching it this time, I was like, I feel like he should have known that was going to happen. Knowing like all the ones that he saw. The first issue I have is, how do you not watch all of those in one night? You know, I guess maybe if you're seeing people get murdered, you need to like take a break. But like, I'd just be too curious. I'd be like, well, I need to see every single one of these. Number two, I have a question. It's this fucked up question, but what is your favorite of the like films, or like which one did you like the most? Because that's my favorite one. Because that one scared the absolute shit out of me, and every single time it scares me every single time.
I would say either that one or the like slumber party one, because
I love the way they filmed that.
Yeah, mainly because like I've noticed this a lot more recently, but I try to put myself like in the perspective of the characters, and specifically for that one, I was like, because all the other ones, I feel like the family was not conscious for that and didn't see what was happening, you know? Like they were all pretty subdued. But in that one, right before they get offed, you can like see that they're like sort of waking up and looking at the person filming the camera, who is their son. So like just imagining that is like really, really fucked up. And that's like chilling. So I think that one probably. But they're all pretty brutal.
They're very brutal. And that's the thing too, that, yeah, and the way that they named it, the name of each tapes, that's kind of funny, but like, holy shit, like a good gag, but like,
very well written.
And the thing too that I always get like worried about when it comes to, I guess a story device that's like that, where it's like different. It's like they're doing the same sort of like, I keep thinking gimmick, but like, I guess I'll just call it that. I don't think it's like gimmicky, but it's like when you're doing the same type of thing, but you're doing it 4 different times, there's bound to be one that's not as strong as the other ones, or that like aren't as creepy or aren't as like, you know, good or well done. And I feel like all of these are very strong. Like I mean, the very end one, I don't know if we will count that, but like, yeah, I really like that. It seemed like they, had a lot of thought in each one of them, and didn't just like, well, the lawnmower one's like solid, so like the other ones we can kind of phone it in. You know, they did the damn thing with each one of them. I liked that a lot.
Right. Yeah. The kids were creative with the way that they did it.
Very much so. Yeah. The one thing I did also, I only took like very few notes, but I also appreciated how realistic this house was. Like a lot of horror films, it seems like they need to up the ante and make it like a great house to live in, like a stunning home. But this one was very average, and I really liked that. Like it wasn't even like, it seems like some of them are like very open concept just so that you can like stage the movie well, but it did feel like an actual home. And I think a lot of directors miss out on doing that, because at least maybe it was just this movie, like what they were going for was wanting people to identify with the families that, like you said, you put yourself in the shoes of the people that it's happening to. And it's easy when they look, not only when they physically look like you, but when they like their living situation looks like yours. And so to be able to like identify with their house, or it's the same thing with Paranormal Activity, where the house, not even just their house, but their bedroom looks so similar to like so many people's. I think it's just a really strong element of creeping people out, and nobody really does it well.
That's true. I will say, I asked Kayla this, but how would you feel if you were the wife?
Oh, I would have left instantly. I don't know why she stayed. I mean, I know it probably wouldn't have mattered, but like, they probably still would have all died anyways. But like, girl, like I don't know, she forgave him way too easily.
That's true.
I think.
Yeah, I agree, because like it's so like fucked up what happened in the backyard, and
an entire family too.
To think. I guess if it's like for your profession, but that's like way too close, literally way too close to home.
And it's also the consent part of it. So like it's fucked up no matter who it is or what, you know, it's fucked up no matter what. But the most fucked up thing is that he had like, there was no consent, that his family didn't know, that he was subjecting them to not only like a demon, you know? And like, let's take that out of the picture. Like, let's just say this is just without Mr. Boogie, you know, let's say all of this happened. He, you know, fooled his wife into thinking that they just lived, you know, a few blocks down or whatever. Or I guess just withheld the truth from her, didn't really lie. But even then, you're subjecting them to so much harassment. Because like the shit that happened at their school, I'm assuming the wife, like every time she would go somewhere, they probably knew it's a small town.
Yeah.
So like she gets dirty looks. Her kids are probably going to get bullied. So like, I don't know, just in that aspect of it, it was just so annoying that he did that. Just taking out the demon part of it. Like you're still putting your family in harm's way.
Wouldn't it be like not only more cost effective, but just better in general to just like not just get an apartment or like go to a hotel for a couple of weeks and do your research and write it? I get immersing yourself, but
well, that's
why bring your family?
Close, though. Why? Yeah, I don't get that at all. Especially too, another aspect of it is it's technically an unsolved murder.
Yeah.
So and people and like I don't know. It just like he's a fucking idiot. Like he's so stupid. Honestly, if we're putting at like ranking all the evil people in this or evil entities in this movie, Mr. Boogie is obviously like number 1.
Yeah.
But the dad is like close to number 2 because it's literally his fault. Like he is the reason this all happened.
Yeah, he killed his family, gotta say.
So annoying.
The daughter does have some say because she did do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. But she was possessed though, wasn't she? Like it wasn't.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if she willingly did that. Yeah. Another thing that made me laugh a lot this time, thought it was a solid joke, so I needed to like tell you about it. But so we see the tapes. He sees all of them, and then there's a certain part of the movie, I don't remember when, but whenever he gets the extended version of it, and I told Sebastian, okay, so like Mr. Boogie, I said the demon has a Snyder cut. Like he just released the Snyder cut into the world, and you know what I want you to edit if you want is because you know he gets the envelope and it says like extended. That was another thing that made me laugh. And I don't think it was supposed to because it literally had on the like writing like extended cut with ending or something. And like that's a little like that's kind of goofy. I don't know why they included that.
Like a literal demon is going to write English.
Exactly. Also just like and also why do you have to tell him what it is? Like he's going to watch it. He's going to figure it out. So that was goofy shit number 1. But what I want you to edit or what I think would be funny and what I told Sebastian it could be is when he looks at that envelope that instead of that writing, it has the disclaimer that the Snyder Cut had where it was like, it is in black and white. That's why it's in black and white and it's at a different ratio to preserve the, what do you say? Artistic integrity of like, what if it was just that whole thing? And then after he's done reading it, you use that like jump scare one where he's like jumping back from it and just from reading the disclaimer.
That would be funny. Okay.
Yeah, so that made me laugh a lot. Really goofy. Another goofy thing too about those endings, because like that the Snyder Cut honestly ruined it. It ruined the like snuff films for me because I think it was a good way to reveal that the children are the like technically the murderers. But that whole like, you know, the like shushing thing and looking like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch this. Shh, stop it.
Really goofy. I really hated that. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I got a 60. But like, I don't even think it deserved that much, like points taken off for that.
No, and if anything too, like I guess another issue I had with it, because it's a solid movie all around. And you know, I used to really hate the part where the like ghost children are dancing around his like house. I used to not like, and I kind of don't really like it that much anyways, but I do think it's bold to show them up close. Like, you know, when it's the face is like right there, that did scare the shit out of me. And I think that was like a really interesting choice. To just like, instead of have them be far away creatures, like to put them right there. Interesting. Didn't love it, but I didn't hate that. I also like, and I think the last part that they should have showed the children is when they were in the attic and like Bagul like jumps. It's like a big jump scare. Fucking love that part. Very good part. I hate that they recycled that jump scare at the very end. I would cut that. I think ending on the box itself is a really beautiful shot, and I think it gets perfectly ended there. I don't know why they had to have another jump scare. Didn't like that, but those are my only issues with the film because I think the rest of it is very strong, very solid.
Oh one goof I can think of that maybe I was just like, what are you doing, bro? Is whenever he falls through the attic and he's looking at the footage because he was recording for some reason and he sees little hands on him.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was like, also really goofy.
Close the laptop.
I think it would have been better if there was like a face or something, or if there was like you could see somebody standing in the attic. Yeah, that would have been really effective. But yeah, solid movie though. I think it's a good like movie night.
Yeah, definitely good movie night to watch. I had it closer to the end of Halloween. I think it would be a solid like actual Halloween movie to watch.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm scared that
the
black phone will be like that where it's
I mean, it already kind of is goofy with the whole like.
That's what I'm talking about. The sister.
Yeah.
I saw the black phone. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, do you want some fun facts? This one has a good amount.
Yeah. Let's give some fun facts.
All right. So at around 27 minutes into the movie, during the pool party 66 snuff film, and Sinister was extremely difficult to film, according to C. Robert Cargill. The actors and actresses who played the doomed family were tied down to lawn chairs and pulled underwater in reality. And the filmmakers had to be extremely careful that nobody was harmed while filming the scene that took place. Yeah, that was a weird way to say that. Further complications occurred while filming The Killer, Mr. Boogie, underwater.
Oh,
yeah. The actor Nicholas King, who played Bagul, had to wear weights and stay underwater for several seconds while he was filmed. Since the scene was filmed entirely on Super 8 film. Oh, that's another thing, is that it was actually filmed on Super 8. I didn't know that. I thought they just like put a filter on it. I know it's not that simple, but I thought it was just like edited. I thought like, why would they do that? But
Instagram
that's cool
filter.
that yeah, exactly. But I thought that's cool that they did that. But since it was filmed on Super 8, care had to be taken to ensure that the camera was properly rolling and that the cartridge and light meter were working. Otherwise, the scene would have had to have been reshot numerous times. What a stressful day that must have been.
That seems insane.
All right, this next one is a little bit scary, or I guess it's like not scary, but a little sad. All right, so, well, not sad. Well, you'll see. So the family that was hanged on a tree were all played by stuntmen. However, when the scene was first done, the stunt coordinator botched the preparations for the scene, resulting in the actors being legitimately hanged and choked. Fortunately, they did survive, and the coordinator was fired soon after. But can you imagine?
How does that even happen?
I don't know. But can you imagine that? Like almost murdering people for real?
And you're like, wow, this acting is really good. Like how do you even know?
I don't know, because they have bags over their faces too, right?
Yeah, how do you scream?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they must have had some sort of like preparation for that, but like that's so fucking scary.
Yeah, there must have been like a signal.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, so next one is Ethan Hawke had never seen the Super 8 snuff films prior to the date of recording Sinister, which I didn't know. When the scene where his character watches the snuff films was ready to be recorded, the soundtrack was matched up with the films, and Hawke played out his role. His reactions to the films were recorded for Sinister and used in the final film.
That's good. That's some good filmmaking technique, I feel.
I think so. According to co-writer C. Robert Cargill, Mr. Boogie was originally intended... I forgot about this one. Do you want to guess what he was originally intended to look like? What character?
I don't know. What character? Goofy.
No. Close. Was originally intended to look more like Johnny Depp and his version of Willy Wonka. After going over this idea, it was decided that the deity looking like Willy Wonka would be, quote, too silly for the film and not scary or mysterious enough, which I beg to differ.
Just like a pale ass.
That would be fucking terrifying. Finally, a photo was found on Google Images that Cargill bought the rights to, and this was the basis for the final Bagul as seen in the finished film.
I think they did good.
He kind of looks like the Crow, doesn't he?
Kinda. Maybe.
It's just the wet hair.
Yeah.
But holy shit, if you're not going to edit the first thing, I think Willy Wonka edited into this movie. So fucking funny. Top hat and everything. That's hilarious. Honestly, that kind of like, as when I read that and I pictured it, it really did creep me out. Like I didn't like picturing that. Like maybe not actual Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka, but like something like that.
Where like super prominent cheekbones.
Yeah. Like trying to look kid friendly because it like he does eat the souls of children. So like that kind of makes sense. But that really creeps me out. And honestly, that would probably give me nightmares.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. 2 more. In the scenes where Scorpion and Snake are shown in the attic, these are two of Bagul's forms, as depicted in the ancient drawings given to Ellison by Professor Jonas in the movie. So they were him.
What about the dog?
What dog? Oh, I think it was just a dog.
Oh.
I mean, it could have been him, but I don't know. Last one. In 2020, Forbes magazine conducted a study, Science of Scare project, where the heart rate of viewers were monitored while they watched a number of horror films. Out of 35 films, I should have looked up what they were, but out of 35, this movie won, having the highest average heart rate at 86, spiking at 131 beats per minute.
Wow.
Thus, it often is now deemed the scariest movie ever made. But an update on that I found while researching is it is no longer the winner. The movie that was made, I think it was a 2020 movie called The Host that was made completely on Zoom, is now the number 1.
The Host. Wow. Mm-hmm. Zoom.
Which I concur with because that movie is very good and very scary.
Really? I haven't seen it.
I think you'd like it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. There you go. Sinister's solid movie. I think it's one that we'll look back on. I think like our generation will be like, yeah, that was a good scary movie.
Yeah. So, definitely doesn't deserve a 60% or whatever they gave it.
No, I would say like in the 70s. I think that's a good, median average maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I watched it.
I'm glad you did too. That's very surprising to me that you'd never seen it before. The sequel, I've never seen it. I will never probably watch it, but if you do, let me know if it's good or not.
Yeah, I don't know if I will anytime soon. I have a bunch of I'm a little behind on the spooks. I need to watch, I started it, but then I was like, oh shit, I need to watch,
Geostorm.
Geostorm. Yeah. Was it Wally's Wonderland or Willy's Wonderland?
Oh, yep. Have you seen The Taking of Deborah Logan yet?
No. That one's pretty late, I think.
Okay.
I have that that's day 24. So next week about. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, we haven't done this in a while, but do watch Dune for next episode. Mm-hmm. Cause we're going to do that one. So go to brothersistershow.com to find everything. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you for listening.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye-bye.